Not gonna lie, I am overly excited about this story. Welcome back to the channel. Imagine riding across the Arizona desert in the 1800s. No highways, no towns for miles, just endless sand, rocks, and silence. And then suddenly, something comes crashing through the brush. A massive red beast, taller than a wagon, and strapped to its back, a bleached human skeleton. This thing wasn't a rumor whispered in saloons. Multiple people claimed to see it. Some said it killed livestock, some claimed it trampled a woman to death, and others swore the skeleton riding on its back was still moving. Tonight we're talking about one of the strangest legends of the American frontier, the Red Ghost of Arizona. Yeah! Welcome back to Purple Phosphor, where we explore cryptids, conspiracies, and strange stories history forgot. And tonight's story sounds like something straight out of a nightmare, but parts of it are actually completely real. The legend begins in 1883 near Eagle Creek, Arizona. Two ranchers had left their property to check on their cattle. Back at the ranch house, the wives were alone. Then the dogs began barking wildly. One of the women rushed to the window, and what she saw terrified her. Charging past the house was what she described as a huge reddish beast, and riding on its back was what she called a devilish-looking figure. Moments later, the creature disappeared into the desert. When the men returned home, they discovered something horrifying. One of the women had been trampled to death. Nearby, they found large tracks, and strands of thick red hair caught in the bushes. Over the following weeks, more sightings began to surface. Prospectors reported something tearing through their campsite at night. Again, they found red hair left behind. Another report claimed the creature knocked over 2 wagons. I'm talking like Oregon Trail wagons, so you guys can picture. This is not a station wagon, Woody wagon. Not Meg the Stallion's wagon. Just so we're clear. A cowboy even attempted to lasso the beast. However, the attempt did not go well. The creature threw him violently to the ground, but during the encounter, he saw something chilling. Strapped tightly to the animal's back was a human skeleton. Please tell me someone else out there is thinking of Sam Elliott's cameo in Ghost Rider, because that's the vibe this gives me, and it just does something for me. Stories about the creature spread across Arizona. People began calling it the Red Ghost. Descriptions grew more dramatic with every retelling. Some witnesses claimed the creature was up to 30 feet tall. Others said it killed a grizzly bear. And some swore that when it was chased, the beast would simply vanish into thin air. But every version of the story agreed on one disturbing detail: the skeleton, always tied to the creature's back, bleached white in the desert sun. For nearly a decade, the Red Ghost haunted the Arizona frontier, until 1893. A farmer named Mizu Hastings spotted something in his garden. It was eating vegetables. Hastings grabbed his rifle and fired a single shot. And at that moment, the legendary Red Ghost collapsed. When people approached the body, the truth began to reveal itself. The terrifying beast of Arizona folklore was actually a camel from hell. But the strangest part of the story was still true. Strapped tightly to its back was the skeleton of a man. Leather straps had been tied so tightly they had scarred the animal's body. No one knows who the man was, and no one knows how long he'd been there. Over time, theories began to appear, naturally. One story claimed the skeleton belonged to a prospector dying of thirst who tied himself to the animal hoping it would carry him to water. Another suggested remains belonged to someone trying to ride the animal who lost control when it bolted into the desert. But no one could prove either story, which leaves the biggest question of all. Why was there even a camel wandering through Arizona to begin with? To answer that, we have to go back a few more decades. Before the legend of the Red Ghost ever began, in the 1850s, the US government faced a serious problem. The deserts of the Southwest were extremely difficult to travel through. Horses struggled in the heat, and water was scarce. So the government tried something unusual. They imported camels. In 1855, under Secretary of War Jefferson Davis, the United States launched an experimental military program. It became known as the US Camel Corps. I promise you I will be making Camel Corps merch, because that goes incredibly hard for absolutely no reason. Graham.
What?
We got new merch!
Holy f***.
That's right, we finally got merch. We've got beanies, shirts, koozies, a little something for everyone. All of this is available at purplephosphor.com. If you've been itching for a chance to rep your favorite shitty YouTuber at home, now's your chance. Isn't that right, guys? Not only is buying merch the best way to support the channel aside from giving a like and a comment, if you don't, my grandma's going to beat the shit out of me. I'm serious, she's impossibly strong. And impossibly fast. Please buy merch. So go ahead and visit purplephosphor.com for more. Go ahead and check it out, and thank you again for watching. Back to the episode. Camels were brought from the Middle East and North Africa to help transport supplies across the desert, and surprisingly, they worked. Camels carried heavy loads and survived harsh heat, and required far less water than horses. But then the Civil War broke out, and the experiment collapsed. The camels were sold off, abandoned, or even simply released into the desert. For decades afterward, people reported wild camels wandering the American Southwest, which means the legendary red ghost may have simply just been one of them. But that still leaves the most disturbing mystery unsolved. Who was the skeleton? And how long had he been riding that camel until someone brought the red ghost down? Because for years, people across the Arizona frontier reported seeing the same terrifying sight. A red beast running across the desert horizon with a dead man riding on its back. Honestly, this is probably one of my favorite stories I have ever stumbled upon. And if you enjoy historical mysteries like this, go ahead and hit like and subscribe. Because the American frontier is full of stories that are stranger than fiction, and we have barely scratched the surface. And with that, we add another state to our map as we creep across America. Arizona, you've been creeped. As usual, stay curious, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
You're not so tough. My turn to teach.
I heard another rumor that you were bitten by a king cobra.
Yeah, I was. But after 5 days of agonizing pain, the cobra died.